welcome back to another video. Today I'm just doing a little bit of checking up on our corn, and then I'm actually gonna head to our barn and we're gonna start working on planters. As you know, if you watch planting season videos, we had issues with our planter. Not a good time. But I'm looking here and I'm seeing already lots of weeds. So I'm thinking next week, Monday, because next week Monday this pivot's going to be around, so maybe Tuesday morning we're going to come out here and we're going to spray for weeds, do one final burn down, get rid of all these pig weeds that are here in the field. Granted, there's a lot more here towards the end of the field. When you get further onto the field, you can tell there's not quite as many, so it doesn't look quite as bad. Just the edge of the field here, it's always a lot worse than what it actually is. Yeah, when I'm looking at it, that's probably honestly the worst part of the entire field, maybe, because when you look down the rows there's not very many weeds, but there's a few. So that's a thing on the plan now. We were wanting to wait a little bit longer. Hopefully, I guess let me get over here to the row. We're kind of hoping to where the corn would be at least somewhat lapping or canopying, so that we get a little more weed pressure. But I think it's time we start spraying. I think it'll be fine. I think the corn's gonna be shooting up a lot quicker now too. I mean, it has been shooting up very quickly, but I think here soon it's just gonna keep growing, and here maybe in like 2 weeks it'll be lapping, and hopefully that'll solve all the weed issues and we won't have any more weeds after that. We won't have to spray again after that. So that's the plan anyway. But other than that, corn's looking pretty good. As you can tell, I did lots of overlap, and that was my plan. I did not really want any skips. And here's my last row. I didn't want any skips here. I wanted solid corn. But as you can tell, my one row stopped. My last row, the way I had it set with, I don't know if you can tell right here, but these are my 4 rows, my outer wing 4 rows. This last row, or the first row, stopped right before the end row. So that's kind of what I wanted. I think it looks good like that. I don't know where I was going with this. Anyways, corn looks good. It's been very, very hot recently. We've had 2 weeks of like solid 100-degree weather. They've been shriveling up a little bit throughout the day. They're trying to preserve some water, which that also means that they cannot grow as tall, so I've heard. So I hope they will still grow very tall. We're gonna send the pivot around pretty quickly, water it up as much as what we can, keep the plants nice and cool and keep them growing a lot. At least that's the plan. But other than that, corn looks good. Got a good stand on it. Not too skippy, and not too many doubles either. So I think it looks good. For some reason, whenever I switch from cotton to corn, then that issue that we had where the planter was speeding up and slowing down, that only ever happened once on the field, and there's one spot in the middle of the field that I can see where it happened. There's maybe 4 feet, 3 feet of a gap where there's no corn, and then there's corn again. That's the only thing I've noticed on this field so far, so it's not bad. But I've noticed on some of the cotton fields, there's quite a few spots where there's just a big old skip of cotton, and all of a sudden there's like 100 seeds in like that small of an area. It's ridiculous. And these weeds are also ridiculous. They need to be sprayed. We need to shut them down. But other than that, corn looks good. I just wanted to look at the weeds, see when we needed to spray it. I think that's what we'll do. We'll spray it on Tuesday morning. We do have to wait 24 hours before we can irrigate again, so we'll have to sadly shut the pivot down on the corn for 24 hours. As you know, we would like to keep it going, but we'll shut it down for 24 hours and then we'll turn it back on, continue watering. Well, we started taking apart the planter. That whole bar is out of there, and we're going to replace every single one of these bearings, which this one, as far as I could tell, was fine, but we're going to replace all of them while we're at it. And we found one issue. Yep, it's this one right here, right beside the section control. This bearing, it's so tight, can't even turn it. So that's where my issue was all year long with the planter. Dang, it's tight. I can't even move it. I don't know how this section of this hydraulic motor was able to turn it, but it was able to. But I guess with a little bit of greasing, WD-40 made it loose enough to where it could actually move. So that's going to be the agenda to fix our issues. So next year we should not have this problem. A lot of these, they were still fine. That one still turned very well. So we're still going to replace all of them while we have it apart. We're just going to replace every single one of them. We'll start with the wings, do the outside two, and then we'll fold up, and then we'll do the whole middle section. Out of all these sprockets that are at each row unit, this is the only one that's a silver one compared to all the gold ones. And we're thinking we might have fixed this in the past, because that was for that last row, or row number one. So I think we might have fixed it in the past before, but we don't care. We're gonna put a new one on there anyway. And every single one of these bearings, they're either very dry or they're completely tight. So we're replacing everything. We got all new parts. Even some of these sprockets, they're turning very hard, so they all need new ones. It'll last another 5-10 years, hopefully. Well, that didn't take long, and we got it all done. That was actually a lot easier than what I thought. I thought for sure they were all going to be rusted inside here, but no, they were pretty easy. The only one that was a little difficult was this middle section here, the middle 8 rows, just because of the vacuum fans here. It kept blowing all the talc onto here with all the what is it, the coating on the peanuts or cotton, whatever it is. Kind of made a big mess there, piled up, made it all sticky and whatnot, so they didn't really want to slide. But a little bit of WD-40 as usual helped it slide right out of there. We're able to fix all these, so all these are brand new, plus also all the bearings on the opposite side of the chain here. So we should not have any more problems in the next couple of years. We could definitely tell all the bearings that were to the left of this sprocket, those were the worst. They were very, very bad. So I'm glad we finally got it done. Now the only thing left to do is just these air lines for the downforce, the main air line that goes from the wing to the center. Those need to be replaced. There's a couple of spots where there was little holes in there, so it was leaking. So my downforce didn't work, not all the time. I fixed most of them, and then you drove for like a day, and then you found another leak, and then it didn't work again. And so I was constantly fixing leaks, so we're gonna get that done and then put all the boxes back on here, and this planter should be ready to go for next year. And then on to the next planter. Well, this planter is now done. I think this planter should be ready to go. Everything should be working right and ready for next year. But as for today, we're gonna be done working on the planters. We're gonna work on that next one another day. I'm gonna go help my brother fix a well. He was fixing one with the poly rig, which it's usually fairly easy. You can do it with one person. But I figured now that I'm done working on the planter, I'm gonna go out over there and help him real quick. It's still quite hot today, but not near as hot as yesterday, but pretty sure like at, I don't know, 5 o'clock maybe, then we'll call it a day. But we're gonna go out there and help him for a little bit. Well, we didn't end up pulling a well like we wanted to. Well, but not actually pulling a well. We pulled out a well the other day. It had pipes in there. We took out all the pipes. Now we wanted to put poly in there with the 5 horse. There was a 10 horse in there. And we were about to start loading up poly onto the poly rig and realized we're out of poly mates. Those little metal pieces you put at the end of the poly hose that put threads on there that you can attach anything to, I guess. That's how we get it down in the hole. We were out of that, so we couldn't do what we wanted to, so instead we just were here at the barn cleaning up a few things. We cleaned up the poly rig. There was a couple of old pumps and motors on there, some trash. Cleaned up some trash in the barn, did a little bit of stuff like that. So nothing really entertaining, just normal, just filler time. It's now almost 5 o'clock. It's only 95 degrees, but it feels like 110. It's humid, like it's ridiculously humid outside. It's insane. The past week it's been 105, 108, and that felt nicer than this. It's weird, it's different. I'm not used to humidity, but luckily it's a little cooler. Hopefully the peanuts and corn like the humidity a little bit better than the 108-degree weather. And it was supposed to be a calm summer or a chill summer, and now it's all over the place. There was, in the morning I checked, there was like an 80% chance of rain for today, and you checked at lunch and nope, 0% chance. It's completely gone. It's a weird summer, and it was looking like July was going to be a nice cooler summer. It was going to stay in the 90s, because the end of June, everything in June has been hot, like plus 100 for like the past 2.5 weeks in June have just been over 100. It's been pretty crazy, and I thought July was going to be a lot calmer. It was going to stay high 90s, maybe mid 90s. That's where I thought I was going to stay at. But now the forecast looks like we're getting more 100-degree weather days. It's a hot summer. It's hot and dry everywhere. So we'll see how everything looks. But cotton is not looking great, not with all this heat. There was a couple of fields where you could see a couple of the cotton plants dying. The cotton would get, I don't know, yay tall maybe. And we got that one crazy rain. I believe it was in the last video. We got a nice big rain, and it cooled down the ground enough to where right there where the stem is coming up out of the ground, it shocked the cotton plant enough to where right there by that stem it shriveled up, and it didn't let the roots bring any nutrients or water up to the leaves, and then the cotton just fell over and died. Yeah, that's something new we experienced. Hadn't seen stuff like that. So a lot of the cotton is looking not too hot. Well, it's looking hot for sure, but it's not looking great. So we'll see what the cotton yield looks like. There's still a few fields that still do look pretty good. They didn't get as much rain, so they didn't get the rain, and now they look better. So it's a weird one. It's a weird summer. Definitely different than last year and the year before. The year before was nice. We got lots of rain that year. That was nice. But we'll see what the end of the year will turn out. We'll see what other videos I make throughout the summer. I've been thinking about touring another local farmer, a friend of mine. I might tour his farm. If y'all are interested in that, I'm gonna go tour his farm and check it out. If y'all are interested, they have a couple of water pits that I'm thinking about touring and getting him to kind of explain it to me about how it works for them and whatnot. Figured that might be interesting. I also have been thinking about doing some pew videos, like some pews, like the funny looking projectiles going down the direction. If y'all want to see some of those videos, I would actually kind of love to make some of those videos. That's a very big hobby of mine. So let me know down in the comments below if you made it to the end of the video and you have some suggestions of what kind of videos I should make. Drop them down below. I'll read them. I read almost every single comment, especially on newer videos. So if you have any ideas of what I should do throughout the summer, let me know. But as for now, I do appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.